I'm Sophia Carter, 32 years old, and 14 years ago, my father cast me out of our home when he learned I was pregnant. "How could you do this?" he roared, his face twisted with fury and shame. My family never knew the painful truth behind my pregnancy. They chose condemnation over empathy, rejection over support. Now, after 14 years of silence, they're coming to meet me and my daughter. They have no idea what awaits them, how their hearts will break when they see what their abandonment forged. Before I share my story, let me know where you're watching from. And please hit that like and subscribe button as I reveal how my family's faces froze when they saw what their cruelty cost them. I grew up in a tight-knit, faith-driven family in a serene suburb of Boise, Idaho. My father, Thomas Carter, was a cornerstone of our community, a deacon at Grace Fellowship Church, and the respected owner of Carter Plumbing, a business he built from the ground up. People admired him, sought his guidance, and saw him as the ideal family man. My mother, Ellen, embodied the role of a traditional homemaker. She organized every church bake sale, kept our home pristine, and had supper ready promptly at 6. Her apple pies took first place at the county fair 4 years straight, and her rose garden was featured in the local lifestyle magazine. Her warm smile could calm anyone in her presence. Then there was my brother, David. 3 years my senior and the shining star of our family, captain of the soccer team, honor roll student, and voted most likely to inspire in his senior yearbook. Dad's eyes lit up at David's games, his cheers echoing across the field. "That's my son," he'd shout after a winning goal. I'd sit beside him, unnoticed, yearning for even a sliver of that pride aimed at me. From the outside, our life was picture perfect. A charming 3-bedroom craftsman with a wraparound porch, weekend picnics, Sunday worship followed by potlucks, and family movie nights. We were the family others envied. At least, that's what everyone believed. I was 16 when I met Liam Harper in sophomore year history class. We were paired for a project on the American Revolution. Fitting, given the upheaval our story would bring. Liam wasn't like other boys at school. He was reserved, yet self-assured, with piercing green eyes that saw beyond teenage facades. Our first study session at the public library stretched into 4 hours. Our project barely touched as we talked about everything else. "You're unique, Sophia," he said that day. "You notice what others overlook." Liam didn't care for typical high school drama. While peers obsessed over prom and popularity, he tutored at the community center and sketched landscapes that captured my breath. He played the violin with a soulfulness that sent shivers down my spine during his recitals. We fell in love gradually, intentionally, with a depth that felt beyond our years. We had big plans. Liam was headed to Berklee College of Music to study composition, already accepted with a merit scholarship. I aimed for Boise State University to study social work, just a short drive from him. We dreamed of sharing a loft after our first year, of road trips during summer breaks, of the life we'd create together. Everything felt within reach when we were side by side. Our relationship wasn't like most teenage flings, raised in devout homes. We took things slowly, valuing emotional connection over physical haste. My parents liked Liam, or at least the version they knew courteous, driven, from a solid family. Dad even teased that Liam was the only boy he'd trust around his daughter. Then, right before senior year, our world shattered. What began as lingering tiredness and unexplained fevers led to a diagnosis that crushed us: lymphoma, an aggressive type that had spread rapidly. Liam had dismissed his symptoms as stress from college applications. I can still see us in that cold hospital room, clutching each other's hands as the oncologist outlined treatments, survival odds, and side effects. Liam stayed composed, asking sharp questions, while I fought to hold back sobs. Later, alone. He crumbled. "I'm not scared of dying, Soph," he whispered, voice breaking. "I'm scared of fading away, of leaving nothing that matters." Treatment started immediately intense chemotherapy that wrecked his body but couldn't fully stop the cancer. His wavy blonde hair fell out. His athletic build withered. Some days, the pain silenced him, yet his spirit never faltered. One lucid day between chemo cycles, Liam raised something we'd never deeply explored. "I want to leave a mark on this world," he said, gripping my hand. "If I don't survive, I want a piece of me to stay with you." We spent hours discussing what he meant. The idea of bringing a child into the world before he might leave it. It wasn't a choice made carelessly. We weighed every hope, fear, and consequence. This wasn't youthful impulse. It was a profound act of love in the face of death. 2 months later, when I learned I was pregnant, my emotions were a storm. Elation that Liam's essence would endure, dread about facing my conservative parents, grief that Liam might never hold our child, but beneath it all, I felt certain we'd created something sacred amid the sorrow. I planned to tell my parents carefully, with Liam by my side once he was stronger post-treatment, to explain that this was about love and legacy, not defiance. But before I could choose the moment, I got a call that upended everything. Liam had collapsed and was rushed to the hospital. By the time I reached him, he was unconscious, his body finally succumbing after months of battle. Standing in the ICU, watching machines sustain the boy I loved. I knew my plans would unravel. What I didn't foresee was how completely everything would collapse. I never got to break the news to my parents on my terms. My mother found the pregnancy test hidden in my desk drawer, wrapped in a scarf. I'd been waiting for Liam to stabilize so we could face them together. That night, I came home from the hospital to find my parents at the kitchen table, the test between them like a guilty verdict. The dim light made their faces look unfamiliar. "Sit, Sophia," my father said, his voice chillingly steady. I knew that tone angered too deep for yelling. My hands shook as I sat. Before I could explain Liam's illness or our choice, my father exploded. "How could you do this?" he bellowed, pounding the table so hard the glasses rattled. "After all we've taught you, our values, you spit on them for what, some reckless fling." "Dad, please," I tried. "It's not that. Liam is Liam," my mother cut in, her voice brittle. "We let him into our home, trusted him with you. You've disgraced us." My father went on, his face crimson. "Our church, our name, the deacon's daughter, pregnant and unmarried." I tried again. "If you'd listen." "No, you listen," he snapped. "You have 2 options. End this mistake, or get out of my house. I won't harbor this sin." His words struck like fists. "End this mistake." As if my baby, Liam's baby, the part of him that would live on, was a flaw to erase. "I can't," I whispered, tears falling. "I won't. Liam's dying. This child might be all that's left of him." For a second, my father's face softened confusion, maybe understanding. But before I could continue, David walked in, his timing disastrous. "What's happening?" he asked, glancing around. "Your sister's pregnant," my father said coldly, "and thinks keeping it is wise." David's eyes narrowed. "Really, Sophia, how could you be so careless? Do you know what this'll do to Mom and Dad standing to the business?" His betrayal cut deeper than I expected. David and I weren't tight, but I thought he'd support me when it counted. Instead, he cared more about appearances. My mother's silence hurt most. She sat there, dabbing her eyes, offering no comfort. The woman who'd kissed my bruises and soothed my fears now couldn't meet my gaze. "Liam has lymphoma," I said into the tense quiet. "He's dying." This baby is his wish, his legacy. Come to the hospital, talk to his doctors. You'll see." Enough lies. My father cut me off. Choose, fix this, or leave. I fled to my room, sobbing, and called Liam's parents. They'd been my rock during his illness, like a second family. When I told them, they offered their spare room immediately. The next morning, I visited Liam at the hospital. He was awake but frail, his skin pale and tight. I hated adding to his pain, but he needed to know. "My parents found out about the baby," I said, holding his hand. "They're making me choose between ending it or leaving." He closed his eyes, a tear falling. "I'm sorry, Soph. My fault." "No," I said firmly, brushing his tear away. "Our choice. Our love." He tried to sit up, grimacing. "Bring them here. I'll explain." I shook my head. "They won't listen. Dad's decided." Just before he drifted off, he squeezed my hand. "Promise you'll keep our baby safe. Tell them about me." "I promise," I whispered, kissing him. That afternoon, I went home to pack, hoping to avoid another fight. But my father was in the living room, rigid. "So you've chosen," he said, an accusation. "You're the one choosing, Dad," I replied, my voice steady despite my fear. "Your pride over your daughter and grandchild. Don't twist this," he growled. "You caused this." As I headed upstairs, David blocked me. "I checked your phone while you were gone," he said, smug. No texts about Liam being sick. Nothing. My stomach sank. "We talk in person, or his parents call. How dare you invade my privacy? We needed the truth." My father said, "You're hiding it." The truth. I laughed bitterly. "You've never asked how I feel or visited Liam. You'd rather believe I'm lying than accept my choice." I pushed past David, packed a bag with trembling hands, and came downstairs. My mother stood at the stairs base, eyes red. "Sophia, please," she whispered. I thought she'd defend me. Instead, she said, "You're ruining your life." "No, Mom," I replied. "Hope dying. I'm saving it. Liam's and mine." My father stood at the door as I left. "Leave with this shame, and you're no daughter of mine." I met his eyes. "I stopped being your daughter when you stopped being my father." I walked into the dusk, 18 pregnant, alone. The weeks after were a blur of fear and grief. With no permanent place to stay and little saved from my bookstore job, I leaned on Liam's parents briefly, but their own burden's medical debt. Their son's decline made it temporary. For 4 nights, I slept in my car behind the hospital, one hand on my stomach, promising my baby we'd survive. By day, I hunted for jobs, any job for a pregnant teen with no degree. 8 rejections later, Daisy's Cafe hired me as a waitress. The owner, Marge, a no-nonsense woman, gave me the job after I teared up in her office. "Show up, don't steal," she said gruffly. The cafe barely covered essentials, so I took a night job cleaning offices from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. Between shifts, I visited Liam, watching him fade as cancer won. Some days, he didn't know me. Others, he'd talk about our baby, the future he'd miss. A cafe coworker, Jenna, saw me napping during breaks and learned I was living in my car. She was 24, a single mom with a 3-year-old son. "Max, you can't live like this. Pregnant," she said. "I've got a spare couch. Take it." I resisted, ashamed, but she insisted. One mom to another, no debate. Jenna's tiny apartment became my haven. She and Max took the bedroom. I got the couch. It wasn't permanent. Her landlord couldn't know, but it was a lifeline. Liam's condition worsened. Chemo stopped as his body failed. His parents, Claire and Daniel Harper, were unwaveringly kind, never judging our choice. "You're carrying our grandchild," Claire said one night by Liam's bed. "Your family." Their acceptance against my family's rejection hurt deeply. I kept hoping for a call from my parents, but my phone stayed silent except for work and hospital updates. Liam's medical bills crushed his parents. I overheard Daniel mention remortgaging their home. At 6 months pregnant, the worst struck. I was mid-shift at the cafe when Claire called. "Come now," she said, voice cracking. "He won't last the night." I left my tables, driving through a snowstorm to the hospital. Liam was barely conscious, his breathing shallow, skin ghostly. "Soph," he whispered, seeing me. He reached for my belly. I guided his hand to where our baby kicked. A faint smile crossed his face. "Strong," he said, "like you." We sat for hours, his hand on my stomach, mine on his. A nurse brought a chair so I could stay close. Just past 1 a.m., Liam's eyes met mine. Clear. "Promise," he gasped. "Tell our baby about me. Us. How I wanted to stay." "I promise." I sobbed. He pulled a small box from under his pillow, a silver ring with a tiny emerald. "My mom's," he said. "Wanted to give you properly." I slipped it on, speechless. "I love you. Sophia Carter," he said, voice briefly strong. "Always." Those were his last clear words. By dawn. Liam Harper was gone, taking our dreams and leaving me to raise our child alone. His funeral blurred, my pregnancy obvious. I stood apart, feeling whispers from old classmates. Liam's parents had me stand with them, but my family's absence from the same church where my father served stung. Weeks later, I got a letter from the hospital. Liam had joined a lymphoma treatment trial, listing me as his fiancée. I was owed $2,500 for his participation. It felt like a miracle. Soon after, I went into early labor, terrified. I called Claire, who got me to the hospital. After 22 hours, Lily Claire Carter was born, 5 weeks premature but fierce, 5 pounds 1 ounce, with Liam's dark curls in my eyes, holding her. I vowed to give her the life Liam and I envisioned. Claire and Daniel were there, snapping photos, helping with forms, but soon they shared tough news Daniel's job transfer to Nevada was unavoidable. "We'll send what we can," Claire said, cradling Lily before they left. "She's our tie to Liam." With them gone, Jenna was my only support, but her own struggles grew. The trial money vanished on baby needs and rent contributions. Postpartum depression hit hard. I loved Lily, but grief and exhaustion overwhelmed me. At 4 months, I sent my parents a birth announcement with Lily's photo, her eyes so like Liam's. No reply came. Braving it. I drove to their house one Sunday post-church, Lily in my arms. My father answered, grayer, worn. For a moment, I saw a flicker regret. Then his face hardened. "We're done with you," he said, eyes avoiding Lily. He shut the door. I saw my mother's face in the window, brief before the curtain fell. David passed me in the driveway, looked at Lily, then walked on, ignoring us. That day, I knew I had to build my own family. Months later, everything crashed. Jenna's landlord found out about me, threatening eviction. Lily spiked a 102-degree fever. I packed our things while she cried, feverish. My car broke down en route to the ER, smoke pouring out, stranded, with Lily burning up. I broke, sobbing against the wheel. I can't do this alone. A knock on my window startled me. Mrs. Larson, my old art teacher. "Sophia, you okay?" she asked. "Lily's sick," I choked out. "Car's dead. Need the hospital." She looked at Lily. "Get in my car. I'll take you." At the ER, Mrs. Larson Ellen now stayed as doctors diagnosed a severe ear infection. Delayed treatment could have been fatal. as Lily got antibiotics. Ellen heard my story: pregnancy, Liam's death, my family's rejection, homelessness. "You're staying with me," she said firmly. "I've got a guest room. Now it's safe." I protested, but she waved it off. "My house is empty since my kids moved out. It needs life." Her cozy guest room, with a crib she'd found, became our sanctuary. With Ellen watching Lily, I could plan beyond survival. "You're bright, Sophia," she said over dinner. Why not school? College felt impossible, but Ellen helped me find online social work programs and aid. "Your dream to help others doesn't have to die with Liam," she said. I enrolled in community college, worked nights at a care home, and soaked up time with Lily, who thrived with Ellen Gran as family. 8 months later, a lawyer contacted me. Liam had a small life insurance policy, naming me Ellen and Lily beneficiaries with $12,000. A trial he'd joined led to a trust for Lily's education, covering college at 18. I sat in Ellen's living room, stunned. That night, I whispered to Liam's stars, "You're still here." The money let me study more, working less. I aced my courses, got into a social work program with a single-parent grant, and by 23 graduated with a job offer. Lily, now 4, showed Liam's spark singing, drawing, teaching herself letters. She'd hum tunes on Ellen's piano, her tiny hands mimicking Liam's grace. I bought a small house, a 2-bedroom with a garden when Lily was 5. Standing in it, I cried, proud. From car to homeowner in 5 years, Lily ran through, laughing, "Ours forever, Mom, forever," I promised. That night, on our porch, fear faded, hope grew. At work, I became a youth counselor, drawn to teens in crisis from my own family's loss. By 28, I was program director at a youth shelter, a full circle from my own struggles. Lily excelled reading ahead, playing violin by 10. At 11, she won a state music award for a piece she wrote, performed at Boise's Arts Festival. Watching her, I ached for Liam to see her shine. Our cottage became a 3-bedroom home, with a music room for Lily's violin, bought after years of saving. Ellen was our anchor, my work friends and Lily's school families, our tribe. Liam's parents visited, sharing his stories. Lily had his hands, they said, watching her play. In Lily's 12th year, the trial Liam joined led to a new drug. A settlement offered $2.5 million. I started the Liam Harper Fund, aiding teens in crisis with housing and support. The Harper House opened near my shelter, free for struggling families, with Lily playing her violin at the launch. A news story on the opening aired, showing Lily and our journey. Days later, David emailed, "Saw you on TV. I've wanted to reconnect. Mom and Dad saw it. Dad's health is failing. They want to meet Lily. Can we visit?" Anger, hope, and caution collided. After therapy, I replied, Lily deserved a chance at family, but with strict boundaries. Days before their visit, I prepped Lily, explaining our past. "Are they mean?" she asked. "No," I said. "They made mistakes. People can learn." I fidgeted as they arrived, adjusting curtains. Lily, calm, hugged me. "We're enough, Mom." At noon, they stepped from their car, my dad, frail with a walker, my mother, grayer, David, their guide. I opened the door. My mother whispered, "Sophia, you're radiant. Come in," I said, neutral. They entered, awed by our home Lily's awards, our travels, Liam's portrait. Lily stepped in, and they froze. She was Liam reborn, his eyes, his poise, my dimple. My dad swayed. "Hello," Lily said, offering her hand. "I'm Lily Harper. Nice to meet you." My father took her hand. "I'm Thomas, your grandfather," he said, voice cracking. My mother, teary, hugged her. "I'm Ellen, your grandmother." We sat tense. Lily broke it. Want to hear my violin?" She played a melody she'd written, easing the air. "Liam played guitar," I said. "Accepted to Berkeley before he got sick." "Sick?" my dad asked. I told them Liam's lymphoma. Our choice. His death. His promises. He never met Lily. I finished. He died, trusting I'd keep her safe. My dad's face crumpled. "We didn't know." He whispered. I tried. I said. "You wouldn't hear." My mother sobbed, watching Lily play. I shared the struggle car nights, jobs, Lily's early birth, Ellen's rescue, the climb to stability. "I saw you that day," my mother said. "On the porch with Lily. I wanted to hold her, but I froze." David admitted. "I ignored you in the driveway. My sister, my niece. My dad spoke. My stroke last year woke me. Seeing you on TV, Lily's music, I saw my loss. We don't expect forgiveness." My mother said, "Just a chance." I had help. I said, Liam's parents, Ellen, friends, and Lily. "I'm happy." I told her, smiling. Lily showed photos, her awards. "I got into Juilliard's youth program," she said. "Like my dad. My dad teared up. He'd be so proud. In the kitchen, alone." I touched Liam's ring, on a chain. "We're okay," I whispered. "We're finding our way." Months later, we rebuilt cautiously. My parents earned trust through effort. Our first holiday was stiff but real. Lily gave thanks for new beginnings. Therapy helped. I admitted I chose shame over love. My dad said, "My greatest failure? My mom kept my clippings, never stopped loving." David and his kids became Lily's family. I stayed strong, my work and foundation growing. Lily, 14, shone at a Juilliard showcase. Her piece for her dad performed. Our family blood and chosen filled the hall. As Lily played, I felt Liam near, our love alive in her. "Later," Lily asked, "will you ever fully forgive them?" "Forgiveness grows," I said. "I'm happy now." On Liam's anniversary, Lily's concert raised funds for the Harper House. My dad, frail, spoke. I was wrong. Love isn't earned, it endures. I'm proud of you. Sophia? His words healed an old scar. Our story isn't neat. Rejection shaped us, but resilience defined us. We choose who we are, turning pain into purpose. Where would you draw the line between family and self-worth? Have you turned rejection into strength? Share below. Subscribe. Share if this touched you. Thank you for joining. Your value isn't in who leaves, but in your courage to rise.